Hi, I'm Will.
I'm Katie. Welcome back to Making Waves. So, I tend to follow more cruise news stories than Will does. And so, today I thought I would share with him some of the bigger cruise news stories of 2023, at least in my memory, and get his reaction to them. So, well, the first kind of cruise news story is one that's not just a single story, but it just seems like a kind of a culmination. It
Mm,
seems like in 2023, we've heard just a ton
mm.
about fights breaking out on cruise ships. So, I know you've heard some of these. I don't know
Yes,
that you've seen all the video of them, but
I've seen a lot of videos.
tell us your reaction to this.
Um, where do I start? Uh, whenever you hear a fight break out on a cruise ship, it's usually on Carnival for some reason. But you do see them throughout
To
the
be fair, we've seen some Royal Caribbean
yeah.
fights as well.
The last one was on Royal Caribbean. It was an all-out brawl. It's just no place for it. Everybody is on the cruise ship or they're taking a cruise to get away from life's troubles,
Job
job
stress.
stress, just stress in life. So everyone on board is looking to escape. So whatever it is. So cruises are, it's supposed to be just a happy time in general, but of course, it's just I guess it's just if you look around the world in general, it's just a lot of vitriol and just hate, and it just whenever you get a lot of people in one place, it can tend to um, things can escalate real quick. And I don't have the slowest temper. I got a quick temper sometimes too, but at the same time, when we're on vacation, I accept that. And things happen where you get frustrated, get a little mad and things. But at the same time, I don't want to make my wife look bad. I don't want to make my family look bad. So I try to analyze real quickly. And this one lets me know real quick to like, babe, no. But it's
All I have to generally do is put the hand on the arm,
yeah.
and
So
that sends the message.
she got me in check. Like, oh, that ain't like that. But at the same time, it does. She does help me de-escalate. So um, fighting on cruise lines, come on. And we're not in high school. We're not children. Um,
I think so. One, I'm a very calm person. I've never been in a fight in my life, and I
yeah.
certainly wouldn't be in a fight on a cruise ship. I don't care. I don't care what the issue is. I'm walking away. But
Mm,
I do think there's probably a couple of factors. One is I think there's a lot of liquid encouragement.
yeah.
Probably people drink to excess
Mm.
and don't have maybe 100% control of their faculties and um, common sense, for lack of a better word.
But the counter argument, not to cut you off, cruise lines have been they've
That's
been
true.
in existence for decades now, and you see the increasing fights the last 2 3 years. So, but yeah, alcohol definitely plays a role in this. But
To your point, right? We've heard more about this over the last 2 or 3 years, and that has been since the pandemic.
yeah,
So, what does the pandemic have to do with it? Is there more?
it's got to
It's
be some
obviously a
kind of
stressful
correlation.
time, right,
Yeah,
for everyone.
mm,
A time, for a lot of people of isolation
yeah.
and stress. So maybe there's some more, mental issues at play. So I don't. Those are the two things I thought of was the pandemic effects from the pandemic and liquid libations.
I just think it's just where we are right now in time. It's just everything from politics to just overall culture. It's no middle ground. It's just one side or the other. And then when you have conflict, they just
Yeah, lack of tolerance,
yeah.
right? We need to all be more tolerant and
Mm,
accepting of people. So,
yeah.
all right, well, that's enough talk about fights. Let's move on to something else. All right, the next cruise story I'm going to lay on you. It's kind of a tough one for me.
Okay.
So this happened earlier this year. I don't remember exactly when. It was on an Ambassador Cruise Lines ship who had a port stop in the Faroe Islands that happened to, at the exact time they were in port, to coincide with an annual hunt of pilot whales, which is a species of dolphin, by the way. Keep that point in mind. This is an annual tradition, apparently, in the Faroe Islands, and within a 20-minute time frame, I think 78 pilot whales were slaughtered and witnessed by the majority of the 1,000 passengers on the cruise ship, much to their horror, as you can imagine.
Again, where are we at as a society? I don't understand that one. I'm just glad we weren't there, especially her, because she would have been. And I love animals too, but she loves animals. Just our dogs get more. I'm just joking.
Aww,
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But no, she loves animals, and I do too. But to see that, I can only imagine how those passengers felt watching that. I would have had what cruise line was it?
Ambassador.
I'm not even familiar with that cruise line,
smaller cruise line.
But yeah, wow, that's my reaction to that.
Yeah. So apparently, this is a tradition that dates back hundreds of years, and the defense, I guess, if there is one, of this tradition is that it provides food for the people of the Faroe Islands for, months. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think either way, somebody didn't do their research. The cruise line didn't do their research. I mean, I don't agree with the tradition. I think it's barbaric. I don't think it should happen. So I'm putting my opinion out there. But if it's going to happen, shouldn't there be some coordination between the port and the cruise line to say, hey, don't stop on this day when we're having this annual hunt? Again, I wish the annual hunt didn't happen at all, but if it's going to, there needs to be some better coordination there. So yeah, I'm certainly glad I was not on that ship. I would have been absolutely horrified. I know I would have been in tears. That's like one of the worst cruise news stories of the year for me, personally. All right, the next story, cruise news story, is that 2023 has seen the most outbreaks of norovirus on cruise ships since 2012, so in over a decade. There's been 13 outbreaks so far this year. So give us your thoughts on that.
Interesting enough. Did I say that right? I always second guess when I'm talking. But anyway, before we embarked on our cruise this year, there was a norovirus outbreak on the Equinox.
Celebrity Equinox.
The week before we went.
A couple weeks.
Or a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Either way, I was terrified. I mean, in a way, as bad as COVID is, I think I would rather have COVID than norovirus. Because if you have an extreme case,
because it's gastrointestinal,
it's just
which is
like
never any fun whatsoever.
And I can only imagine I would just feel bad if I got that. I would clear out the whole floor. But yeah, that is interesting with everything. The pandemic, COVID. You have to try to combat that, but now you have to try to combat norovirus as well. So. Katie was in our room. She wiped out everything. I mean, every surface, because I was terrified. And like I said, I was being a guy. I was just outside looking at the water, but she was doing the room service on our cabin. So, norovirus, yeah, that's a definite concern whenever we go on a cruise, and it seems like it's just multiplying.
And it's highly contagious. And so one of the things that we did, and I will always do, is we buy, it's not just the regular Clorox wipes that you can get like in the grocery store. It's like the clinical version. We talked about it in our Amazon Cruise Essentials video that we'll link up here.
You have to put on gloves to use these things.
It's definitely they smell very strongly of bleach, and definitely recommend you wear gloves. So I just brought several of those, just put them in a little, Ziploc bag along with, a couple of the latex or non-latex gloves. And I wiped out every surface in the room multiple times during our cruise. So obviously all the door handles, drawer handles,
remote control,
the phone, even though we didn't really use the phone in our cabin. any surface that you could touch, I wiped down with that. The other, I guess, tip I would have, I don't know that we were so good with this, or maybe we were. You'll know because you care about this. You keep me on point with the hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah.
Is obviously when you go into if you go to the buffet, they have people there with hand sanitizer dispensing it. But if you think about it, like after you touch all of the handles with the food and you go back to eat, probably should put some hand sanitizer or wash your hands thoroughly again. Same thing in the restaurants, right? We wash our hands before we go eat, but we're touching menus and how thoroughly are they cleaning the menus? I'm not so sure, so probably a good idea.
Yeah, we did that multiple times.
Got that hand sanitizer after you order it before you eat. So
and
that's just some precautions.
And that's one of the main reasons I don't like buffets that much. It's not a cruise thing. It's just in general. I don't like buffets just based on, not saying, I don't want to be an elitist, but I just don't want germs or anything like that because I'm an avid hand sanitizer, hand washer.
Yeah.
And with norovirus just being there and COVID is still in the mix,
sure.
It's just better just to be precautious and just, hand sanitizer is everywhere, but yeah.
Diligent. I think, just have to be diligent, and you can't control what everyone else does, but you can control what you do. And so luckily there was no norovirus on our ship the week that we sailed, and we were very careful as well.
Yeah, I thank God for that.
All right, the last cruise news story I wanted to get your opinion on is a more recent one, and this is the story of Kevin McGrath, who went missing on the Carnival Conquest. He and his family were on a 3-day cruise from Miami to the Bahamas, where they were celebrating his father's 60th birthday. And on the last day, disembarkation day, he didn't show up to meet his family for breakfast. And when disembarkation occurred, there's no record of him getting off the ship. The ship was thoroughly searched, and Carnival has said that none of their kind of closed circuit TVs captured anyone going overboard. Now, it has, in the days following the story, it came out that he had some legal troubles last year. He pled guilty, I believe, to aggravated assault in Tennessee. I believe it was against his wife and children, perhaps threatening his wife and children. But he pled guilty, and he received 6 years of supervised parole. And he had legal permission to live with his parents in Florida. He did not have legal permission to go on the cruise.
That's what I was just about to say.
Thoughts?
That is, geez, yeah. Because when we initially heard of this story, I didn't know about that side of it. I just, because usually when you hear a passenger is missing on a cruise ship, usually I think automatically alcohol is involved, balcony is involved, and that person just slipped off or just fell off. But in this case, I'm not sure. Knowing that what you just said, how did he even get on board?
Well, I mean, he didn't have legal permission to, but there's nothing that would have flagged that necessarily for the cruise line, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I don't think the cruise line's at fault for any of that.
And then you would think if he had this pending, well, he had parole.
Well, he had already pled guilty and was on 6 years of supervised.
My initial reaction was it I hate to say a suicide or either way, this is a tragic thing. You hate to hear.
Oh, absolutely.
And with us being on cruise ships, we see it's easy to do that. Like it's easy to go overboard.
Really, I don't think it is.
Yeah,
I would debate you on that.
I would say
balconies. I can't. I mean, I have to lean over so far that my feet came up, and I just can't imagine.
I could see people. I've seen people. Well, actually, not in person, but sitting on balconies, sitting on the railing.
Yeah, not making.
And if alcohol is involved, yeah, it would be absolutely easy to fall over.
Yeah, so. But I mean, there's a little effort. I think you have to put a little effort into it. I mean, I think there's been a lot of talk that people think this man tried to, escape his legal situation. I'm not sure I lean on that side of it because he had already pled guilty. He didn't get, prison time. So I'm not sure I really agree with that. I kind of go back to the argument of why don't more ships have man overboard systems, right? There are these systems that alert the crew immediately when the system senses someone going overboard so that they can stop immediately and try to, save this person. We know a lot of people go off of cruise ships into the water intentionally, which is really sad. We just don't know in this case, but I did just a little bit of research before this video, and those electronic man overboard systems, it seems like the cost to install those is anywhere between like $200,000 and $400,000 to install them, which for large cruise lines like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, all of them, it doesn't seem like that's that much money. So why don't more cruise ships have been installed?
Yeah, as you know, if you're watching this video, you've most likely taken a cruise. It is just getting more and more expensive. So these cruise lines absolutely have the money to install these systems. So I'm not sure, I hate to say it, is it a greed thing? We're just trying to get as much profits as we can and just rely on old fashioned, oh, man overboard, let's blow the whistle. Or can you just invest in some safer technology to help prevent this? Because if it's so happy that I went overboard, I would hope they would do everything in their power to try to find me. And it seems like the cruise lines are kind of, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it seems like they can do more as far as safety. But it might be facts we just don't know why they don't do it. So
yeah, we don't know. And like I said, I hope and pray that Mr. McGrath is found safely. I'm just not sure that I buy into the fact that he was trying to escape his legal troubles when he'd already pled guilty and had been on, this parole. I don't know if that argument holds a lot of water. And I've also seen video of his family just pleading for anyone to help find him, and they seem really genuine, in their extreme concern for him. So I fear the worst, that he may have gone overboard. He was last seen, I think, by his brother in one of the clubs dancing, and then his key card was last used at 3:30 a.m. to enter his cabin. And so I do kind of fear the worst, but certainly hope and pray for the best.
It's just alcohol. I mean, I feel like whenever you hear this, it's usually that person is usually super intoxicated. It just, when you get to that point, you don't know what's going on. We're all adults. You've probably been intoxicated, and sometimes you just don't know what happened. Maybe it's one of those issues. I hope not. I hope they can find him one day.
We hope for the best. But I feel like we're kind of ending this video on a downer, but we would love to know your thoughts on these news stories. Please, chime in the comments below. And if there's other stories that we didn't talk about that you think are, one or two of the biggest cruise news stories of the year, we'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy cruising.
Bye.